स्वयं रूपेण ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरों श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा some sound disturbance is happening or is it okay?
Okay, bro, but little bit is coming. But I think fan's voice is coming. Fan, or doing something.
Background noise can be
Okay, I don't know if it is just for me or as for everyone else. I cannot see Prabhuji's video on, or is it off, Prabhuji?
Voice is breaking also, bro.
huh?
The voice is breaking also, bro.
Take one minute. हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा now is it audible? Now how is the sound? Background sound is coming?
Okay.
हरि बोल
Yes, bro. Still background noise is there, bro.
तो जी रेडियो में कैसे आवाज आता है वैसे हिसिंग साउंड आ रहा है
Background. Actually, vehicle sounds are also coming, bro. So it seems quite noisy actually.
इसको कैसे खत्म कर सकते हैं?
But Prabhuji, we can hear your voice clearly. It is just that there's some background noise, but we can hear you properly. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yes. One minute.
Prabhuji is better now, I think. We don't hear
Yes,
any.
bro. अब नहीं आ रहा, bro.
बिल्कुल नहीं अभी.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay. So last time we were doing Bhakti Rasam Sindhu summary study of Srila Prabhupada. We are reading from Prabhupada. So we read about different kind of siddhis, and before that we also read about how the Mayavadis they come to material platform because they do not derive any happiness in their process. In 12th chapter of Gita, Klesho Adhikartastesam Asakta Avyakta Chetasam. So that is also mentioned. So that says that Mayavadis, they do not find any happiness in their process. Hmm. This is a result of their offense to Supreme Personality of Godhead, that do not accept the personal form of the Lord. And so they call this world mithya, and they again come back to the same world to serve the humanity in this world, or open hospitals, open schools. So that happens actually. So this is Sudurlabha and Moksha Laguta Krita, which is in Bhav Bhakti. So moksha, which is the highest enjoyment for Mayavadis or impersonalists, that becomes insignificant for those who are situated in Bhav Bhakti stage. Okay. And then Prabhupada also mentions one thing, that there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. So materialistic perfection means scientific advancement, and mystic perfection means yogic perfection. So there is no difference actually much. And then we saw all this kind of agimal, anima, laghima, prapti. We discussed about the siddhis also, prakamya, kama, vashiyata. And Prabhupada quotes about Bhaktivinoda Thakur that jada vidya maya re vaibhav, तुम्हारे भजनेर बाधा, नित्य संसारे मोह जन्मिया जीवे रे करे कथा. So that also, the jada vidya maya re vaibhav. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur basically says that materialistic perfection is useless. Actually, that increases what? Maya re vaibhav, bhajaner badha. And then Prahlad Maharaj, a great devotee of the Lord, prays to Nrsimhadev. So this is a prayer by Prahlad Maharaj in Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. This is not you find in Srimad Bhagavatam. This prayer you will find in 7th canto, 6th chapter, when Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his classmates. That time he mentions one thing. This bhakti gives a three varga sukha. Three varga means this dharma, artha, kama. So these three varga sukha the bhakti gives, and that also we have seen in the NOD also. That bhakti gives the four also, mukti also. So he says, therefore, he says to demons actually, because demons, they do not believe in bhakti. They just take to some ritualistic process to get power by doing some religious activity, like Bali Maharaj followed Sukracharya, he served him, so he became very much powerful, more powerful than Indra. And so they defeated. And what happened? Then Krishna or Vishnu became a cow, and he drank all the nectar of Sukracharya's. They had made some nectar. In 8th canto, this story comes. So I think Brahma becomes the calf, and Krishna becomes the cow, and he drinks all the nectar. And that nectar was basically to bring back all the demons alive. So he drinks away all the nectar, just becoming the cow, and also because the demons were quite powerful, the Vaman Dev goes. The Vaman Dev goes and then asks for the 3 step of land. And so then he takes away the everything, because that time Indra was not as much powerful to take away, because demons, they served their guru, they were powerful, they got that benedictions, or you can say benefit of following the rituals. So demons, they try to perform religious activities. Actually we are here in Pandharpur also. So there is a demon called Dindir. Dindir. So Dindir one, this name comes after him. So Dindir demon, this demon, while dying, because Lord Vishnu fought with him for 1,000 years actually. Lord Vishnu came as a Malika Arjuna. He came as a son of some devotee and to kill this demon. And then in the name of Malika Arjuna, he killed him. But actually, he took one rod of iron and he bet on his head and placed it on his body. And that's why he died. But it took long years. So while dying, actually, he chanted Hari Hari. He chanted holy name of Krishna. So then the Lord became pleased with him. He said, okay, you ask some benediction. So then he said that because I am dying, let this place be known on my name, Dindir one. And because you have killed me with this iron, hmm, so the place near the Pundlik, na, when he served his parents, so just in front of him only the Lohasur, hmm, the warrior, the Lohasur, not Lohasur, you will say Loha se mara na usko. So Lo, I think Loha Tirth, the Tirth is there. So Tirtha, where the Lord hit him on his head and on his body to kill him. So therefore that place is Loha Tirth. So the demons actually, they want to take benefit of religious process to gain some power. So Prahlad Maharaj says that to his classmates that actually bhakti gives everything. We should not ask for that. And therefore here he says that I do not want. I simply pray that my consciousness, Krishna consciousness, is so strong and steady because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotion service is so powerful that one can have all perfection of religiousness, economic development, and sense gratification. This is a many times the questions comes in mind of devotees sometimes. Will we follow dharma, artha, kam, moksha to gain the benefit, or we only get only spiritual benefits? So here the proof actually. This is the proof. Okay. So actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of this perfection because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. If it is said that even a one drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond the comparison of with the ocean of happiness derived from any other activities. Thus, any person who has developed a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. So Prabhupada quotes about the Kolvech Siddhar. I think we discussed this past time, last time also. Yeah? Okay, we'll go ahead. किधर गए? Yeah. See, sometimes it may confuse us. What is this actually? Like, which is spoken here. This is a like little devotional service also. Prabhupada says one who develop even a little quantity of pure devotional service can easily pick out all other kinds of happiness derived from these things. And we got to know this happiness comes in sadhana bhakti, correct? Na? Like Subhada. Subhada in that only, that happiness part, Sukha. So Subhada has four parts. So Sukha, the Sukha has the three parts. Bhukti, Mukti, and Paramananda or Bhakti Ananda. So these three Sukha also one gets in the Vaidhi Sadhana or is Sadhana Bhakti, not Vaidhi, means Sadhana Bhakti it is spoken. So it means the pure devotional service. Now, don't say that when you are in Nishtha level, then only we can reject all these things. But one can experience that happiness in Bhakti. Therefore, Prabhupada says our whole process in Bhakti is Kevala Ananda Kanda. These things have been analyzed many places. What is the happiness which devotees have to identify with? This is very clear, means it requires some philosophical understanding, first of all. What is that? Suffering will be there. Like if I do not eat, I will feel hungry. But then what keeps a devotee separate from outside person or some materialistic or some ordinary person? Devotee's happiness or suffering is seen in his happiness and suffering in service of Krishna actually. It is it's also spoken in the Shastra in 11th canto also is dealt with properly. So if a devotee is happy, how? Because he's seeing that I'm able to serve his spiritual master, hmm, and so he's happy. Or I'm able to serve the Lord, he's happy. And so he forgets his problem. And Prabhupada says at one place, like like Jesus Christ, he took unhappiness or a troublesome situation for preaching purpose. So Prabhupada quotes about that preaching incident, that how the happiness of preaching actually, because even though happiness means happiness of preaching happens, but at the same time, at the same time there is a distress, so many challenges happen. So why he is taking the challenges happily? Because the answer is given that because his spiritual master is happy. So this understanding, if one has, in material world there will be happiness and distress that is superficial or based upon mental and bodily level, that will be there. huh? That cannot be, you can say, finished by anything. Only thing what bhakti gives is higher taste. So the higher taste is this, is what wanted, and along with the higher taste, surely these things will be decreased, because we know that why we suffer in one sense, because of attachment, because of our absorption of mind in body and in some circumstances, whatever. So absorption is there. Yes, and there is some physical awareness also, means physical experience also happens if somebody pierces you needle. So that needle, yes, you come feel pain, but the same needle is like pierced by doctor because it's giving you injection. So you know that there's a purpose behind it and you tolerate it. So therefore, you know that I have to go through this injection. So Prabhupada did not say that this world becomes sukhalayam. He said that this world is dukhalayam only. You have to leave this world. So devotees' happiness means they are living their life with a purpose, and their happiness is now in purpose, not in superficial material sukha and dukha. That's why we have to see this thing. And once we start doing bhakti, as it is mentioned here, the happiness which we get from bhukti, mukti, they are all given by Bhakti Devi, not by the Maya. So we automatically get that happiness. Our body remains happy, yeah, our mind remains happy, like that. So Krishna is not like some troublesome Lord who wants to test his devotees against without any reason. Krishna has only purpose that devotees should be elevated in the purpose and they should be working in this world, setting example. Even though they go through certain problems, they just uh, tolerate those problems and be oriented in their duties and their service to Krishna consciousness. So service to Krishna consciousness, for those who are sannyasis, brahmacharis, their only duty is service to Krishna consciousness. For grahasthas, they have material duties and also spiritual duties. So both they have to be engaged. So Kolbet Sridhar, he said, I do not want anything actually. Lord Chaitanya told him, I will give you all the 8 siddhis. Will you take? He said, no, I don't want 8 siddhis. I don't want to become Indra also. So like that. Okay. Hmm. Yes. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in devotional service. So this is also there. So he can give everything actually, but he will not give immediately the opulence of engagement in service of the Lord. Yes, see, Lord Shiva is saying to Parvati. Okay, I think yes, we have to discuss from here. Yes, Amrish Pranpu, can you read? Let's start reading from here. The rarity of devotional service.
The rarity of devotional service is also confirmed in the Tantra Shastra. where Lord Shiva says to Sati, "My dear Sati, if one is a very fine philosopher, analyzing the different processes of knowledge, he can achieve liberation from the material entanglement. By performance of the ritualistic sacrifices recommended in the Vedas, one can be elevated to the platform of pious activities and thereby enjoy the material comforts of life to the fullest extent. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord, not even if one tries for it by such processes for many, many thousands of words." In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj that merely by personal efforts or by the instruction of higher authorities, one cannot attain to the stage of devotional service. One must become blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee, who is completely freed from the contamination of material desires. In the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, verse 18, Sukdev Goswami also says to Parishit Maharaj, "My dear king, it is Lord
पता नहीं
Krishna, known as Mukunda, who is the eternal protector of the Pandavas and the Yadus. He is also your spiritual master and instructor in every respect. He is the only worshipable God for you. He is very dear and affectionate, and he is the director of all your activities, both individual and familial. And what's more, he sometimes carries out your orders as if he were your messenger. My dear king, how very fortunate you are, because for all others, for others, all these favors given to you by Supreme Lord would not even be dreamt of." The purport to this verse is that the Lord easily offers liberation, but he rarely agrees to offer a soul devotional service, because by devotional service, the Lord himself becomes purchased by the devotee.
हाँ ओके just see like Lord Shiva is mentioning here that by process of jnana, by process of knowledge, a different process of knowledge, he can achieve liberation. This is a jnana method, and then this is a karma kanda method. By process of the ritualistic sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas, what happens? One can get material comforts and one can also live in the heavenly planet. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord. Yes, just very clearly mentioned. So actually, so Gyan Kanda, Karma Kanda, Kevala Vishera Bhand. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that Gyan Kanda and Karma Kanda, Kevala Vishera, because they cannot offer devotional service. Though they are processes for purification, and ultimately one has to meet a sadhu and take one's dust, surrender to him, then only he can take to devotional service. This is a constant theme in scriptures, as Prahlad Maharaj also here mentions. Nayasamatistavat urukramangliং अनर्थोपगमम यद अर्थः नहि मय्यशां पादरजोभिषेकम निष्किंचना नाम न प्रणीत यावत. So Prahlad Maharaj says here, Naisam matistavat urukramangliং. So nobody can have mati in Urukrama means the very wondrous feat one who performs like Supreme Lord. No one can fix one's mind in him until one's anartha is gone away. So which kind of anartha? So, anartho upugama yad artha. So anartha, basically he is not able to choose Krishna as the topmost priority in his life, as a important thing in his life. Not able to choose, even though sometimes people are also coming giving him some advice, no problem. He's not getting change. He's going to temples, so many temples. He's going to so many dhams also. He's not able to take up to bhakti. So many people go to dham, but cannot take. Why? This is the reason. Mahiyasam pad rajobhishekam. So again, when when Lord Shiva is saying here, Vedas can give you Gyan Kand and Karma Kand, but all such endeavors can hardly offer any one devotional service to the Lord. This is so amazing thing. Means it's a so you can say pristine and isolated devotional service that it cannot be offered, even though it's there inside, even though it's there in the Vedas, but still you cannot take it. Hmm? Like I was sharing one example, like somebody is doing Achman, he is chanting so many names of Vishnu. So he's chanting the name of Vishnu, but he cannot take to devotional service. The reason some sadhu has to tell that all these rules are subordinate to Smratabhya Satatam Vishnu, Vismratabhya na Jatuchi. Unless he knows that Krishna is the supreme, Krishna is everything, through some sadhu, he cannot fix his mind only on Krishna. He will be just thinking chanting the name of Krishna is simply a process of an Achman. So he will make Achman, Krishna subordinate to Achman. That is a offense actually. That's why so many people do offense to Bhakti Maharani. So many people do offense to Krishna like that. And so they cannot understand Bhakti. When you read Mahabharata, what is said, like Krishna sometimes becomes subordinate to people. Like if when you come to Pandharpur, like Pandharpur, you see Lord Shiva on the head of Vithala. So then people will think who is supreme? So Lord Shiva is supreme. Here only problem comes. Just see. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devate Samattevana Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavedruvam. One who understands Narayan and Lord Shiva equal, on equal platform. He is a Pashandi. He is a atheist person. Then how he can understand Bhakti only? He is the first atheist. So people just see some external pastimes with external vision, some pastime with external vision, and then they interpret just by their materialistic mind that this is how it is happening. So this is very, very important. So simply by seeing or performing some kriya mudra, one cannot attain devotional service. And for us also, when we are in devotional process, we have to be always again under proper understanding that these kriya mudras cannot give us devotional service, but association of sadhus can give. This is not only one time we have got now. Now we can be free from all such association. No, it is always required. It is a constant, because that is the process of bhakti. Now here Parikshit Maharaj was again said to by Sukadeva Goswami that Lord is very dear and affectionate, and He is the director of your activities, both individual and familial. But what more, He sometimes carries out the order. And so this is example that how Lord has become subservient to Pandavas because He has given them bhakti. He has given them opportunity, blessings to become their devotees. And so Lord has become their servant. So this is a proof. This is a proof here why Lord does not give bhakti easily. This is a proof. Let's see. This is a proof why Lord does not give. When He shows that how Lord has become servant, this shows that Lord does not give bhakti easily, because He cannot become servant of any Tom, Dick, Harry. Someone has to first get mercy of a sadhu, and then practice devotional service through sadhana, and then gradually he should aspire very strongly. Sahastra sadhana, we have read now. Lot of sadhana, and with asanga. If he is asanga, if he has no attachment for the process and for desire to attain the Lord, even just following the process. See, two things. If somebody simply following the process of bhakti, simply following official, no, he's asanga, means not attached to the process, just following it with not attached to Krishna, not wanting to attain Krishna, no, not having understanding that I have to attain bhav bhakti, then he will not attain Krishna, even though he's following the process. And even if you follow the process properly with attachment also, still Krishna will not give you. So this thing we saw in the definition of bhakti, sadhana bhakti. Okay, Brahmananda, if Brahmananda or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme is multiplied by trillion fold, it can still not compare with the atomic fraction of happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. So, so these are not exaggeration. So Brahmananda, which is the highest ananda for jnanis, if it is multiplied so much with a trillion fold multiplied, okay, then it cannot compare to atomic fraction of happiness. So this is again the proof given. So this is given by Rup Goswami Pad. Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
From here, this next topic is starting of the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme.
Ah,
Okay. In the Hari Bhakti Sodhyodaya, Prahlad Maharaj, while satisfying Lord Narasimhadev by his prayer, says, "My dear Lord of the universe, I am feeling transcendental pleasure in your presence and have become merged in the ocean of happiness. I now consider the happiness of Brahmananda to be no more than the water in the impression left by the cow's hoof in the earth, compared to this ocean of bliss. Similarly, it is confirmed in the Bhavartha Deepika, Srila Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are relishing the nectar of narration of your pastimes certainly know ecstasies which immediately minimize the scroll value of value of the happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Such a transcendental devotee regards any kind of happiness other than devotional service as no better than a straw in the street.
So we saw that straw in the street, matlab trina. So that I have shown you the verse also. That how Bhakti Maharani makes the bag of liberation like a trina. Yes, go ahead.
Srila Prabhupada has stated that devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service is the highest degree is Radharani. Krishna is called Madan Mohan, which means that he is so attractive that he can defeat the attraction of the thousands of cupids. But Radharani is still more attractive, for she can even attract Krishna. Therefore, devotees call her Madan Mohan Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. To perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani. And devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. In other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world. It is directly under the control of Radharani. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the Mahatmas or great souls are under the protection of Devi Prakriti, the internal energy Radharani. So, being directly under the control of internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself. This fact is corroborated by Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, verse 20, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, you may know, you may know it from me that the attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my devotees is not to be attained even by performance of mystic yoga, philosophical speculations, ritualistic sacrifice, the study of Vedanta, the practice of severe austerities, or the giving of everything in charity. These are, of course, very nice activities, but they are not as attractive to me as a transcendental loving service rendered by my devotees." How Krishna becomes attracted by devotional service of his devotees is described by Narada in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, verse 48 and 49. There Narada addresses King Yudhishthir while the king is appreciating the glories of character of Prahlad Maharaj. A devotee always appreciates the activities of other devotees. Yudhishthir Maharaj was appreciating the qualities of Prahlad, and that is one symptom of a pure devotee. A pure devotee never thinks himself great. He always thinks that other devotees are greater than himself. The king was thinking, Prahlad Maharaj is actually a devotee of the Lord, while I am nothing. And while thinking this, he was addressed by Narada as follows: "My dear King Yudhishthir, you, the Pandava brothers, are the only fortunate people in this world The Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared on this planet and presenting himself to you as an ordinary human being. He is always with you in all circumstances. He is living with you and covering himself from the eyes of others. Others cannot understand that he is the Supreme Lord, but he is still living with you as your cousin, as your friend, and even as your messenger. Therefore, you must know that nobody in this world is more fortunate than you. In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna appeared in his universal form, Arjuna prayed, "My dear Krishna, I thought of you as my cousin brother, and so I have shown this respect to you in so many ways, calling you Krishna or friend. But you are so great that I could not understand." So, so that was the position of the Pandavas. Although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the greatest among all greats, he remained with those loyal brothers, being attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. That is a proof of how great this process of devotional service is. It can attract even the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts Him. People who are not in devotional service cannot understand what great value there is in rendering service to the Lord.
Yes. Okay. So here, Sri Krishna Akarshani that is discussed here, that how the devotion service are attractive. So Prabhupada first gives example of Srimati Radharani. Hmm? So Madan Mohan Mohini. Hmm? Madan Mohan Mohini. Madan Mohan Mohini. This is the one example he gives, that Lord is more attractive than Cupid, and Lord becomes attracted by Srimati Radharani. So she is more attracted. It means lust is attracted by Krishna, and Krishna is attracted by love. Hmm? So love or devotional service. So devotional service is higher than Krishna, and Krishna is higher than any material love. Hmm? So we can see that this comparison. Gotcha. Hmm. And then example is given here about Uddhava. Again, Radharani's example is again given, that so being directly under the control of internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attract even Krishna himself. Yeah. So this we discussed the last time also, that Uddhava, how Krishna is saying that you may know it from me that attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my devotees not to be attained even by performance of mystic yoga and any performance of other processes. Study of Vedanta. So this is a great revelation Krishna is doing to Uddhava. My devotee is not to be, just see the whatever they render devotional service. Now, if somebody says that devotees are not doing some yoga or some philosophical speculation, not mental speculation, philosophical also mentioned, or some ritualistic sacrifices also. Ritualistic sacrifices means even nitya karya. Or study of Vedanta also if they are not doing, or not even practicing some severe austerity also, or giving some charity also. If these things are also not done, but just simple devotional service is done, so Krishna is saying that is attracting me more than all these attract things, all these so-called attractive things. So one thing, it means Krishna considers bhakti or activities of devotees as a devotional service, and all other things they are not attracted to Krishna, means Krishna is superior to them. It is not able to attract Krishna. But what is able to attract Krishna is these activities of devotees. And as Krishna says also, that he is not in the Vaikuntha, he is not in the Yogi Nam Hridaya Api. Uh, Naham Naham Vaikuntha Tishthe. Right? Naham Tisthami Vaikunthe, Naham Yoginam Hridayam Yatra Gayanti Madhya Bhakta Tata Tisthami Narada. So now Krishna is saying he is not there in Vaikuntha. He's there in Vaikuntha. Then why is saying like that? Because he's saying the priority. Even in Vaikuntha also there may be Chaturvida Mukti people. Uh, So they may be liking to live with the Lord. But Lord is always aspiring to live with devotees who are rendering bhakti, devotional service. So devotional service, we already have understood that Chaturvida Mukti, Vina Mat Sevanam Jana. Don't give us Salokya, Samipya, Shastri, Sarupya. So these all Chaturvida Mukti without seva of the Lord, even Vaishnavas do not aspire. Those who do not have got the taste of service to the Lord, they may somehow get this mukti. Even Ajamila was also, uh, if he had not cultivated 12 years of bhakti later, he would have got this Chaturvida mukti. But we understood that I should serve Lord. I should develop some relationship and serve Lord. I just don't take simply benefit of devotional service of chanting, but I have to serve the Lord. So that's why he practiced 12 years more to attain Parsadatvam. He became Parshad of the Lord. So Lord is also saying here down, the Narad Muni addresses the king Yudhishthir. So this also past time we saw that Yudhishthir was feeling little depression. Oh, Prahlad Maharaj, such a great devotee. What about me? So then Sukadev Goswami, Narad Muni says to him, Arey, at your home, great sages used to come. Why? Because Lord used to always be there, just considering your home as his own home. He was not present in Yadu's palaces more than he was there at your home. And great sages is to come to meet the Lord. So you are even greater than Prahlad Maharaj actually. For Prahlad Maharaj, Lord came to protect him. Okay, but Lord did not live at his place. Lord just performed pastime and went away. But Krishna was living, dining with them, sleeping with them, eating with them. And that's why the pastime is mentioned here in Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna saw this Vishwarupa, Arjuna was begging forgiveness. Oh, what I did with you. I dined with you, I slept with you, I made some jokes with you. So please, that was offensive. Please forgive me. So it shows that he had got so much intimate interaction with Krishna. So this is Krishna Akarshani. Krishna is not attracted to anyone's ritualistic, and there is no example also. Krishna does formality of giving some boons to his Karma Mishra Bhakta or other people also. He may give some boons, but he does not live with their at their home or eating with them. He does not do that. He just uh, performs the formality. But with the Pandavas, he was very intimate. Yes, the first stage of devotion. The first stages of devotion. Yes, go ahead. I will say somebody else. 1 minute. So Mataji can. Oh yes, Saryu Sawant Mataji is there? Not there. Neha Mataji is there?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Please read.
The first stages of devotion. The three categories of devotional service which Srila Rupa Goswami describes in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu are listed as devotional service in practice, devotional service in ecstasy, and devotional service in pure love of Godhead. There are many subheadings in each of these categories. Generally, it is understood that in the category of devotional service in practice, there are two different qualities. Devotional service in ecstasy has 4 qualities, and devotional service in pure love of Godhead has 6 qualities. These qualities will be explained by Srila Rupa Goswami later on. In this connection, Srila Rupa Goswami suggests that the person eligible for Krishna consciousness or devotional service can be classified by his particular taste. He says that devotional service is a continual process from one's previous life. No one can take to devotional service unless he has had some previous connection with it. For example, suppose in this life I practice devotional service to some extent. Even though it is not 100% perfectly performed, whatever I have done will not be lost. In my next life, from the very point where I stop in this life, I shall begin again. In this way, there is always continuity. But even if there is no continuity, if only by chance a person takes interest in a pure devotee's instruction, he can be accepted and can advance in devotional service. Anyway, for persons who have a natural taste for understanding books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is easier than for those who are simply accustomed to mental speculation and argumentative process.
Okay. So here Prabhupada is saying three things: devotions, sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prem bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, devotional service in practice; devotional service in ecstasy is bhava bhakti; and devotional service in prema or pure love of Godhead is prema bhakti. Now, this also quality also we have seen earlier. 6 qualities, yes, already we discussed. But Rup Goswami Pad may elaborate it later. Now, another thing is here, Prabhupada writes that Rup Goswami Pad suggests that a person eligible for Krishna consciousness can be classified by his particular taste. Just see, very important. Eligibility is according to particular taste. Okay. And then Prabhupada mentions ki if somebody comes to bhakti, uh, it's a continuous process. So he must have done something in previous life that has caused him to come to bhakti because he has got that taste. How he got attracted? Like we are giving books to so many people, we are feeding prasad to so many people. Why they are not coming? Why they are not coming? So it means their taste has not developed. This is important thing. Taste. Taste is very important. Means the taste has not developed in bhakti, and some have developed the taste. I will give example also. Now, Prabhupada in other place, like in third canto, अरे किधर गया है बाबा? एक तो इसको मैनेज करना बड़ा दिक्कत है. एक मिनट. Okay, so Prabhupada gives in third canto when Krishna wanted to leave this material world and he had seen that now Yadus have to be also wounded up, वहां से निकालना है उनको, wind up करना है उनका भी. So then Krishna at last went to a secluded place near the Saraswati river, bank of Saraswati river, and thus he just sat down behind and behind his or on his back it was a banyan tree, a small banyan tree. Uh, so urdhamulam adha sakham aswatha rahurabhyam. So aswatha tree was there. And that time, Krishna, because he and Uddhava was feeling so much separation, because Uddhava came to know that Krishna is going to leave now, and he has already planned that Yadu should go and they should fight and then should. Actually, they did not kill each other. Goswami mentioned that. They just drank wine and they died, actually. They just lied down. But Krishna, he manipulated that event in such a way that it was written in the scripture that they killed with each other, they took the bamboo and then hit one another. Actually, how can Krishna, like Vishwanath Thakur says, how can Krishna see some devotees hitting another devotees? That is not possible actually. So he just made it written in the scriptures that they hit each other and they killed each other. The blood said was there. Actually, did not happen like that. They simply drank wine and they lied down, bus. And then they went to their demigod lokas. So at that time, when Krishna was overseeing these situations is going to happen, and Krishna also now understood, now I have to also leave. That time Uddhava was not sent to Prabhas Kshetra for fighting and getting away to demigod Loka. Uddhava was told by Krishna that you go to Badrika ashram and pacify uh, some of my devotees, because I went to Vaikuntha, I went to Yamalok, I went to even Varuna Lok, but I did not go to Badrika ashram. And devotees are waiting for me, so I cannot go. You please go and pacify them. So that time Uddhava was feeling separation. Krishna is living to the spiritual world and he is keeping me here. And he's giving me a task of going to Badrika ashram. So he also went with Krishna till that place where he was, Saraswati river, he was sitting, behind him Aswatha tree was there. But at that place, Maitreya Muni comes. Now the word comes for Maitreya Muni. How did Maitreya Muni approach there? So it is told by Sukadeva Goswami, Yad Ichchaya. So then he mentions that actually anybody who is not pure devotees, they do not have natural love for Krishna. And so those who happen to meet Krishna, if they are not pure devotees, that is because of Agyat Sukruti. It is mentioned. So anyone who gets such opportunity to meet Krishna or great devotees, that is because of Agyat Sukruti. But for pure devotees to meet Krishna, that is natural. It is said natural. That is not called Yadichaya. That is called natural. Because Krishna wants to meet them and Krishna arranges their meeting with them. But for others to meet Krishna, those who have not come to that highest state of pure devotional service, prema, they cannot come to Krishna. They can only come because of some Agyat Sukruti. Understanding, na? Like some mercy of some devotees. So that's why the theme is told here, same thing. Because somebody has done some devotional service, and especially devotional service, it starts basically with association of sadhus, actually. Association of sadhu. Krishna Thakur mentions that. Association of sadhus, somebody appreciates, the sadhu gives some prasadam, or some Bhagavad Gita. So that is the beginning. That is the beginning. And because they have done it in previous life, so in this life they will go onwards from where they have finished last life. So therefore Prabhupada is mentioning no one can take to bhakti unless he has some previous connection with it. So this is a previous connection Prabhupada mentions. Some previous connection has been there. Now some of us may ask question, ki then why hippies? Like Prabhupada said also this thing to hippies. So then hippies ask the question that how did we also have some bhakti previous life? So Prabhupada said no, I made your qualification. So again, uh, it is also true, like a pure devotee can make qualification right now, and some of, it's not at all hippies became devotees. Some hippies may become devotee later, but some surely became devotees because they picked up the process. And now can we say that they had no previous life devotional service, and Prabhupada just injected everything? That is very difficult to conclude, because if it is so, then why all hippies could not? If Prabhupada only made qualification for everyone and there was no qualification at all, then why all could not? So therefore, there is also this understanding, as Prabhupada is mentioning, might be some connection of sadhu previous life which they have appreciated. Like David, you find a David. David offended, like he attacked Prabhupada, but he lived with Prabhupada. He lived with Prabhupada, and then he may become devotee in future life. May not be in this life because he is associated with devotees by Prabhupada himself. So this is also a nice understanding here. Prabhupada is giving that no one can take to bhakti unless he has some previous connection with it. And then Prabhupada gives, for example, suppose a person in this life practice bhakti with to some extent, even though it is not 100%, whatever I have done, it will not be lost. In my next life, from the very point where I stop, I shall begin again. So this is the thing here. So Maitreya Muni, his devotion service was tinged with jnana. So he could not come in front of the Lord, but because of some, because he had done some bhakti, he has met some devotees, and he was a friend of Vedvyas. Vedvyas is a pure devotee. So it is mentioned he was a friend of a Vedvyas. Because Maitreya Muni, he was a disciple of a Parasar Muni, and Parasar Muni is a father of Vedvyas. So therefore, disciple and son. So Vedvyas is a son of Parasar Muni, and Maitreya Muni is a disciple. So almost like good relationship between both of them. And so he had got some tinge of bhakti, some tinge of bhakti, and so therefore he got Sukruti to meet Krishna at a time when Krishna was speaking highest confidential knowledge, which was not even spoken to Brahmaji by Krishna, that is called Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad Gita, I will just say now here, Bhagavad Gita is like a confidential knowledge, but Uddhav Gita is more confidential knowledge. But the last moment when Krishna, before leaving this world, he gave knowledge to Uddhava, that is called Paramam Sthitim. That is called most confidential knowledge, which he even did not, even Sukadeva Goswami did not reveal to Parikshit. It is mentioned there. And that knowledge even could not be understood by Maitreya Muni also, because Maitreya Muni was, his bhakti was tinged with jnana. So therefore, that knowledge was only understood by Uddhava. That's why Uddhava is so dear to Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita is like a confidential, but Uddhav Gita is more confidential knowledge. And then this Paramam Sthitim is most confidential knowledge. So like that, Krishna explains according to one's adhikar to different devotees. His very intrinsic pastimes, and Paramam Sthiti means what? Prabhupada mentions that what is Krishna's behavior, why Krishna does something or some pastime with some devotees. What is the intention behind that pastimes? That is a Paramam Sthitim. That Krishna very few times mentioned, because we find in Bhishmadev section also. Bhishmadev says that even if you ask Krishna, he is standing in front of you all Pandavas, that why we all suffered in our life, what was the reason for our suffering? Krishna will just smile. He will not answer. And even if you ask some other sages, they will also not be able to solve this because this is very difficult to know what is the plan of Lord. But to Uddhava, he explained actually why did he cause Yadu's massacre and winding up pastimes, and other things also he explained. And surely Uddhava to some extent discussed with Vidura, but he did not explain everything. And then he escalated Vidura to go to Maitreya Muni and discuss. But Maitreya Muni also did not know this Paramam Sthitim. Only this was only known by Uddhava. And Krishna, Sukadeva Goswami Pad mentions that while Krishna leaving this world, he was thinking this Uddhava is exactly like me. He is exactly qualified like me. So even if I am not there, he can disseminate my knowledge without any problem. So Krishna, without hesitation, he empowered Uddhava to speak to sages of Badrika Ashram and even to Nar Narayan Rishi also. Like Mahavishnu was eager to see Krishna, and then Krishna took Arjuna and and then gave darshan to Mahavishnu. So even Narnarayan Rishi wanted to hear about Krishna, so Uddhava was made the instrument to speak that knowledge, and that's why though Krishna does not speak this, means does not always send. It is said that in every kalpa Krishna does not send Uddhava. Only in this kalpa Krishna sent Uddhava to speak to Badrika Ashram. Otherwise, in other kalpas, when Krishna comes, Krishna personally goes and speaks knowledge to Narnarayan Rishi and other sages there. But this particular kalpa here we are doing where we are now. So this time Krishna did not go; he sent Uddhava. So I just mentioned this pastime to make you understand that this Agyas Sukruti Bhakti and the Suddha Prema Bhakti I am saying. So one who has Suddha Prema Bhakti, for him to meet the Lord, there is no such cause behind it. The Lord also wants and he also is desirous. But for other devotees to go to some dham or to meet the Lord, that is because of some Agyas Sukruti. That is because some Agyas Sukruti. That is mentioned. Okay.
But even if there is no continuity, if only by chance a person takes interest in a pure devotee's instruction, he can be accepted and can advance in devotional service. अच्छा ये पढ़ा था ना प्रभु जी?
हाँ ये हो गया, 1 मिनट, कहाँ तक हो गया?
वो पैराग्राफ हो गया था. हाँ.
And then here, anyway, for persons who have natural taste for understanding books like now just see, this is another thing mentioned. Somebody is having taste for reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. See, he is more advanced or he has associated with the devotees in previous life where he has read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam more. So therefore, he's got a taste for it. So this is very simple to understand. Like somebody who has done night tuition, who has also studied books, so he has more knowledge. Yes. In a similar way, those who have associated with devotees more, they have done some bhakti previously, so then they will have more taste in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And for them, bhakti will be easier than those who are simply accustomed to mental speculation. So bhakti becomes easier for whom? Those who have done more bhakti. Those who've done more bhakti or associated with sadhus more, or they've heard Srimad Bhagavatam more. So it's not a question of born in a Brahman family. No, how much he has done devotional service. That Prabhupada mentions here, na, above. Okay, इसमें इधर mention है, yeah. Continual process, yes, eligible for Krishna consciousness can be classified by this particular taste. Yes. Yeah. The same thing is mentioned above also. Okay, go ahead.
To support this statement, there are many authoritative assertions by the learned scholars of bygone ages. According to their general opinion, a person may become governed by certain convictions derived by his own arguments and decisions. Then another person who may be greater logician will nullify these conclusions and establish another thesis. In this way, the path of argument will never be safe and conclusive. Srimad Bhagavatam recommends, therefore, that one follow in the footstep of the authorities. Here is a general description of devotional service given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Previously, it has been stated that devotional service can be divided into three categories, namely devotional service in practice, devotional service in ecstasy, and devotional service in pure love of God. Now, Sri Rupa Goswami proposes to describe devotional service in practice.
Yeah. So now we'll be learning the sadhana bhakti. Okay. So again, to support this statement, there are many authoritative assertions by the learned scholars of bygone ages. According to their general opinion, a person may become governed by certain conviction derived by own argument decisions, and then okay. In this way, the path of argument may never be safe. Yeah. Okay. So basically, one cannot come to devotional service by argumentation or speculation because it keeps on changing. Keeps on changing. One has certain argument, certain conviction, then another will have certain. So no, one has to follow the parampara. One has to follow the parampara. Okay. Now sadhana bhakti. Yes, go ahead.
Practice means employing our senses in some particular type of work. Therefore, devotional service in practice means utilizing our different sensory organs in service to Krishna. Some of the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge, and some are meant for executing the conclusions of our thinking, feeling, and willing. So, practice means employing both the mind and the senses in practical devotional service. This practice is not for developing something artificial. For example, a child learns or practices to walk. This walking is not unnatural. The walking capacity is there originally in the child, and simply by a little practice, he walks very nicely. Similarly, devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the natural instinct of every living entity. Even uncivilized men like the aborigines offer their respectful obeisances to something wonderful exhibited by nature's law, and they appreciate that behind some wonderful exhibition or action, there is something supreme. So this consciousness, though lying dormant in those who are materially contaminated, is found in every living entity. And when purified, this is called Krishna consciousness. There are certain.
Okay. So now practice means employing our senses in some particular type of work. So practice means we know that we have to practice. So for practice, we have to do some work. Yes. And keep on doing that work until we understand how it has to be done, until we achieve some success, some perfection. Correct? That is a practice. So practice cannot be like mindless practice or lazy practice. Practice has to be with mind and with the dedication. So that is a practice. So Prabhupada is talking from common understanding point of view. And then he gives an example of how a child walks. So child learns or practices to walk. The walking capacity is there originally in the child, and simply a little practice, he walks very nicely. So this is example given. Similarly, devotion service is natural instinct, and even uncivilized man like aborigines offer respectful. So this is what Prabhupada gives two example. One is a example like which is not connected with devotional service, like a walking of child. But another example which he gives which is connected. This is aborigines, uncivilized people. They are offering some respect to mountain or some animals. So they are offering respect. Why? Because they have some understanding of some divine power. Something is there. Some wonderful exhibition. Something is there. So that is like if you just give them more knowledge, they will understand, oh, I'm offering obeisances to Supreme Lord and his energies. So then they will understand, but they were already offering. In a similar way, when a child is taught to walk, so then the child had a desire, he was walking on his knees first. So then he wanted to walk and he was trying to get up and walk, but he was falling down. But when the parents pick him up and then give him the hand, and then with the holding hand, he starts walking, then he understands how to put his feet ahead and how to not fall back, how to go ahead. So then he learns. So the main thing is spoken here. If a person is given more training and some knowledge, whatever, yes, so then he learns the skill which is already there in him. That is the meaning of practice. So he can practice. Yes. Go ahead. So okay, this is so. Then Prabhupada says that so this consciousness, though lying dormant in those who are materially contaminated, is found in every living entity. So this is what Prabhupada says. Aborigine example is just continues. So that example, like a Prabhupada says to Western people, I have not come to convert you. You are already Christians. So I've just come to teach you how to love God. So you have some tendency, you are loving God in certain way. And I have perfect way to tell you how to love God. What is the perfect way? And perfect way is to do devotion service. That way you can love God very perfectly. In other process like karma kanda, jnana kanda, all these ways are contaminated process to love God. So they are basically contaminated with material desires. But I will give you the best perfect process by which you can love God. So religion generally teaches love God, but they only teach it to some extent. But pure devotion service teaches the highest extent and purest extent how we can approach God. What is the way to approach God and how one can approach there. Like that. So this is what Prabhupada is saying here, connecting. Yes, go ahead. There are certain prescribed methods. Yes.
There are certain prescribed methods for employing our senses and mind in such a way that our dormant consciousness for loving Krishna will be invoked as much as the child with a little practice can begin to walk. One who has no basic walking capacity cannot walk by practice. Similarly, Krishna consciousness cannot be aroused simply by practice. Actually, there is no such practice. When we wish to develop our innate capacity for devotional service, there are certain processes which by our accepting and executing them will cause that dormant capacity to be invoked. Such practice is called sadhana bhakti. Every living entity under the spell of material energy is held to be in an abnormal condition of madness. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, generally the conditioned soul is mad because he is always engaged in activities which are the cause of bondage and suffering. The spirit soul in his original condition is joyful, blissful, eternal, and full of knowledge. Only by his implication in material activities has he become miserable, temporary, and full of ignorance. This is due to vikarma. Vikarma means actions which should not be done. Therefore, we must practice sadhana bhakti, which means to offer Mangal Arati, deity worship in the morning, to refrain from certain material activities, to offer obeisances to the spiritual master, and to follow many other rules and regulations, which will be discussed here one after another. These practices will help one become cured of madness. As a man's mental disease is cured by the direction of a psychiatrist, so this sadhana bhakti cures the conditioned soul of his madness under the spell of Maya, material illusion. Narad Muni mentions this sadhana bhakti in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 1st chapter, verse 32. He says there to King Yudhishthir, "My dear king, one has to fix his mind on Krishna by any means." That is called Krishna consciousness. It is the duty of the Acharya, the spiritual master, to find the ways and means for his disciple to fix his mind on Krishna. That is the beginning of sadhana bhakti.
Just 1 minute. So, correct. Now, there is another thing Prabhupada mentions. Hmm. Now, he says that one should have basic walking capacity. Otherwise, he cannot walk by practice also. What does it mean? क्या मतलब है इसका? अभी हमने कुछ डिस्कस किया था पहले कुछ इसके बारे में. भक्ति से कैसे रिलेट किया है प्रभुपाद ने? One should have basic walking capacity. Otherwise, he cannot walk by practice also. What do you mean by that? Anyone?
Prabhuji, that Bhakti Sukriti should be there.
Yeah, same thing. Bhakti Sukriti should be there. Otherwise, what practice he will do? Already people are practicing so many things. Like people will go to temple or they are putting the, so many people have their altar in their home and they're putting the agarbatti. Still they are not becoming devotee. Why? They are doing practice. Many brahmanas are doing practice in so many temples for so many years. Whole life practice only going on. Yogic brahmanas, 10th canto, practice so much nice ritualistic ceremony they were doing. They were going to performing yagya for going to heaven. Still so many practices, but not able to walk only. Why? Because there is no innate capacity. They have not got innate capacity. So that innate capacity is what? So therefore Prabhupada says actually there is no practice. First he mentions about practice, then he says actually there is no practice. So practice means don't think simply by doing moving agarbatti or going to some temple one will become devotee. Not like that. It's a very uh, confidential thing. So so again, नैसा मतिस्तावत उरुक्रमांग्रिम अनर्थो अपगम यद अर्थः मह्यसाम पाद रजोभिषेकम unless a pure devotee gives devotional service to us, unless he connects with the proper understanding and philosophy and proper engaging us in service, it is not possible only to understand bhakti and to do some practice and advance. Not possible. So when you're chanting 16 rounds, following four regulative principles, now this practice will help us advance because we have got it from Acharya with a proper understanding why we are chanting, why we are following regulations. Okay. So that mercy we have got from Acharya. Simply it's not also understanding, it's a mercy. Mercy to understand and then we understand. So when we wish to develop our innate capacity for divine service, there are certain processes. So when you will wish, when you will have some bhakti, first you should have some innate capacity, and then you can develop that capacity by accepting what is favorable for bhakti and what is not favorable for bhakti, give up. Okay. So then he says that the conditioned soul, then Prabhupada says he's doing bikarma because uh, he has given up his position of blissful, eternal, and full of knowledge position, and he wanted to enjoy. So he has come here. So sadhana bhakti. Why sadhana bhakti? The question may come. Why you are saying me to practice bhakti? Why don't you give me directly love of Godhead? So then Prabhupada mentions here that we have bad tendencies or we are already diseased people. So for diseased person to immediately eat rasgulla is very difficult. He has to first get cured and then eat rasgulla. Correct. So therefore he's saying ki all these activities are first curing us. They're purifying our senses first. Hmm. So this sadhana bhakti, as you see here, this sadhana bhakti cures the conditioned soul here. What is doing this sadhana bhakti? This is what sadhana bhakti is doing. It is curing the conditioned soul. Huh? पहले क्योर होना है, बाद में रसगुल्ला खाना है. First cure. Prabhupada also mentions that in our conditioned state, if we should not try to enjoy material happiness, because that material happiness will make us attached and again become diseased. So in our conditioned state, we should focus on getting liberated from this material happiness or material enjoyment. हाँ? विषया छाड़िया कबे शुद्ध habe mana कबे हम हेरिबो Sri Vrindavan. So when we'll be able to relish Vrindavan or the spiritual things, when we are free, our mind should get free from Vishaya Asakti. So that's why in conditioned state or in disease state, enjoyment is prohibited. So sadhana bhakti is helping us. So first we got some innate capacity of bhakti, and that then by help of process practice, we are continuing ahead. That is called sadhana bhakti. But that process is also curing our material illusion, curing our sense gratification disease. This thing. So who says now? Narad Muni says to Yudhishthir Maharaj, येन केन प्रकारेण मन कृष्ण निवेशयेत. Kena api, we read that sloka. So Prabhupada is saying that. So a spiritual master has to find out the ways and means for his disciple to fix his mind on Krishna. Now just see, this is also. Now again, a spiritual master is working hard to fix the mind of his disciple on Krishna. Like a spiritual master says, go and distribute books. Go and distribute prasadam. Go and read book. Go and read my books. Go and worship in temple. Go and chant holy name through in the streets. So these are all devotional activities. Okay, why spiritual master is doing that? What is the reason? The reason is he has to find the ways and means for the disciple to fix his mind on Krishna. Then how should disciple fix his mind? This is spiritual master job. Okay, to engage. But how should disciples fix his mind? Disciples should listen to spiritual master, his lectures, his books. He should read and understand that real sadhana bhakti is when I aspire nothing of this world. I simply aspire Krishna bhakti only. With that aspiration, when he does bhakti, then he is called a sadhana bhakta. Otherwise, he's warming up. He's preparing himself for sadhana bhakti. If he says that I'm doing what my spiritual master is saying, see, I'm doing. So spiritual master somehow wants to engage you in bhakti. But how you should be engaged? You should be engaged according to the definition given by Rupa Goswami Path. What is sadhana bhakti? What is bhava bhakti? What is prem bhakti? Yes, it's not that okay, my guru has said I'm doing my. So I'm pure devotee. What is pure devotee? Your guru is engaging you in service because he has mentioned ना ये न केन प्रकार किसी तो भगवा किसी भी तरह लगाओ इसको भक्ति में पहले तो है कि नहीं तो भक्ति में लगाएंगे वो हमको ओके
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us an authorized program for this purpose, centered around the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. This chanting has so much power that it immediately attaches one to Krishna. That is the beginning of sadhana bhakti. Somehow or other, one has to fix his mind on Krishna. The great saint Amrish Maharaj, although a responsible king, fixed his mind on Krishna. And similarly, anyone who tries to fix his mind in this way will very rapidly make progress in successfully reviving his original Krishna consciousness. Now, the sadhana bhakti or practice of devotional service may also be divided into two parts. The first part is called service according to regulative principles. One has to follow these different regulative principles by the order of the spiritual master or on the strength of authoritative scriptures, and there can be no question of refusal. This is called Vaidehi or regulated. One has to do it without argument. Another part of sadhana bhakti is called Raganuga. Raganuga refers to the point at which, by following the regulative principles, one becomes a little more attached to Krishna and executes devotional service out of natural love. For example, a person engaged in devotional service may be ordered to rise early in the morning and offer arti, which is a form of deity worship. In the beginning, by the order of his spiritual master, one rises early in the morning and offers arati, but then he develops real attachment. When he gets this attachment, he automatically tries to decorate the deity and prepare different kinds of dresses and thinks of different plans to execute his devotional service nicely. Although it is within the category of practice, this offering of loving service is spontaneous. So, the practice of devotional service, sadhana bhakti, can be divided into two parts, namely regulative and spontaneous. Rup Goswami defines the first part of devotional service or Vedi Bhakti as follows. When there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service to the Lord, and one is engaged in the service of the Lord simply out of obedience to the order of the spiritual master or in pursuance of the scriptures, such obligatory service is called Vedi Bhakti. These
Okay. So
Yes,
Vaidhi
Dr.
Bhakti is, yes. So Vaidhi Bhakti is spoken here. So first thing in Vaidhi Bhakti, spiritual master finds the ways and means to engage the disciple in Krishna's service, so that he will fix his mind. Therefore, Prabhupada says that I have given 16 rounds and I have engaged them in 24 hours other seva. So 4 o'clock morning and 10 o'clock in evening, night. 4 to 10, they have to be busy, chanting 16 rounds and then busy throughout the day in services. Why? Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna nivesaya. Somehow engage his mind in. Because we cannot be chanting all the day, because he said that foreigners cannot chant whole day and we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. So better be engaged in service. So therefore 64 limbs of bhakti. So we are practicing actually. We are practicing. We are not again saying that we have to chant 60 whole day mala. We are not saying that. But we have to be engaged in some seva of Krishna, some seva. Somebody is writing, somebody is hearing, somebody is cooking, somebody is dressing the Lord. Some way remain engaged. This is the way spiritual master is engaging us. Even though we may not have a spiritual master directly, but we are hearing his lectures and he is also saying from scriptures that how we should be engaged. And then example is given of Amrish Maharaj. Yes. So why the example is given of Amrish Maharaj? Somebody could have said, Arey, what is this? Amrish Maharaj is a pure devotee. Why is this? His example is given at this place? Because his example is saying that how we should be engaged all the time, all our senses. Savay mana Krishna padaravindayo. So mind is there on the lotus feet of Krishna. Then his vacha, then his hands, then his nose, smell, and then his body touch, then his head, then his legs. Everything is engaged. So the example is given, Amrish Maharaj here, that how one should be doing satatam. hmm? Not only one activity, one can be doing many activities in devotional services. So now this is important. And then he says, similarly, anyone who tries to fix his mind in this way will very rapidly make progress. तो यहाँ पे क्या दिया है कैसे प्रोग्रेस होगा भक्ति में make progress in successfully reviving his original Krishna consciousness. Original Krishna consciousness. तो अभी हमारा ओरिजिनल like Prabhupada says na like Christians you are worshipping Jesus but I have come here to give you the right process or the perfect process how to love God means original process कैसे भगवान को प्रेम करना भक्ति एकदम प्रेम के साथ so then we will be able to revive our original Krishna consciousness by fixing our mind in this way like Amrish Maharaj is fixing by so mind can be fixed. See, mind cannot be fixed only. Mind can only fix our senses when our senses are fixed. So therefore, he is engaging in wiping the temple hall, making wiping the floor, and then he's smelling the flowers offered to the Lord. So therefore, his senses are engaged. Therefore, his mind is engaged. That is the thing. So now this sadhana bhakti or practice of devotional service may also be divided in two parts. So what are two parts? One is regulative principle, following the regulative principles. So one has to follow these different regulative principles by the order of a spiritual master or on the strength of authoritative scripture. So what we learned उधर क्या पढ़ा था आपने रूप गोस्वामी पाद के उधर क्या वर्ड क्या था इसके लिए याद है किसी को Sasaneneva Shastrasya. Sasaneneva Shastrasya means we have to follow the rules or teachings of Shastra. And Raga Anaptatvat. Raga is not developed. Attachment, greed has not developed for bhakti process. But Sasaneneva Shastrasya, because of on the strength of authoritative scriptures or on the order of a spiritual master, somebody is doing bhakti. Therefore, we say that spiritual master has given me order, therefore I'm doing for guru's. जैसे हम पूछते प्रभु क्या चल रहा है आपके लाइफ में, गुरु की कृपा चल रही है, गुरु ने कुछ सेवा दिया है, वी आर जस्ट डूइंग सम सेवा. So this is our sadhana bhakti. Guru has given us some seva. It's mercy of Guru. Like we get some direct service from Guru. See, we should understand everything properly. Whenever we're getting service from Guru, what is the situation of us? At least I will remain engaged in something, and I will get mercy also. So another thing, I will get mercy of great soul, but it is to just engage me. It is to just engage me completely, so that I will forget my other thing. Because like when some other devotee gives service, who is not Guru, and when Guru gives, so then we keep it. Oh, my Guru has given. It means we'll always be extra cautious that we must do it within time and we must please Guru. So then that kind of favorable attitude is created in us, and that makes us advance more, because in such kind of favorable attitude has to be there when we serve Krishna. Oh, Krishna has asked me to do something. Oh, let me do. Now we cannot relate with Krishna now. At least we can relate with Guru. So, oh, Guru has given me. Let me do this service. So we become very cautious. But we should always understand, it's not that I become now pure devotee because I'm serving Guru. This don't remain in illusion. This is again, Guru is trying to find out to somehow engage me. And therefore, by engagement, he will also give me mercy, and I will also do in a proper way, in a favorable way. That's why the things are going ahead. But to come to original Krishna consciousness, it will take some time. वो time लेगा. तो इतना illusion में नहीं रहना हमको. I'm doing to please my Guru, and Guru will give me mercy so that I will advance. And I will also remain engaged in my service, and I will be doing in a quite favorable way because Guru is giving. Okay. So we do not have a natural taste or raga, but we are doing on the strength of scriptures or on the strength of order of Guru. One has to, now another thing, one has to do without argument. अब ये कहाँ से आ गया? ये argument नहीं कर सकता गुरु के साथ. क्यों नहीं करेगा? What is the reason? Can anyone say? Why can't I argue? Yes. Oh, Guru, I think you have given me more tasks. Huh? What is this? That devotee, you do not give any task and you give me so many tasks. Or we can say that this is not matching to my nature, Gurudev. If you can know my nature, argument नहीं करना है. इसका क्या मतलब है? कौन बताएगा?
Trusting the process and trusting Guru's gods.
हाँ. Okay. Trusting the process, trusting the Guru. Yes. What else?
Prabhuji, can we relate it to Tadvidhi Pradipatena Prashna Seva?
Pariprashnena seva. So there you can ask question. Yes. You can ask question. Very nice. So argument no, but we can ask questions. Okay, Gurudev, when I do such seva, my mind becomes very much stressed out, or I do not feel much interest. So what I should be doing? Please let me know. So we can ask questions. We can serve Guru. We can ask questions. Argument means what? Guru has given you the reason also why you should be doing, but still we are arguing. No, I don't like. Means we do not have attitude of surrender. We do not have attitude of listening from him, but we are arguing. That should not happen. The reason is because this is very important thing. Krishna says in 14.10 shloka, Bhagavad Gita, there he mentions that the three modes are like colored glasses which we are wearing. And when you wear the yellow glass, you will see the everything yellow. Now, if somebody convinces you also, Are, this is black, this is not yellow, you will say, you are foolish, I know this is yellow. How you cannot believe him? Because you are wearing that glass. in the similar way, when we take it the method of bhakti guaranteed, and we understand that whatever I understand is right, or whatever I do is right, and we take it association of devotees guaranteed. So many times we have colored glasses actually. वो colored glass हो जाता है हमारे जीवन में. So because we are not liberated from this material world, so Maya covers our knowledge, covers our mind with certain kind of conditioning, some attachments, and therefore we give some justifications. We start giving justifications many times because we become colored, and you cannot see also that how you're colored. And that time Guru says, "No, give up, do this thing." Then you have to agree because we have colored glasses. We cannot see, and therefore only Guru can take out. He can understand. Now he's attached person. He is just giving some arguments. He's not listening to me. Therefore, very very important. So sadhana bhakti, you cannot say Guru, I know better than you, because sadhana bhakti is done on the strength of order of Guru, on the strength of authoritative scriptures, not on the strength of our advancement. It is done again on the order because we have not developed the raga. Raga we have not developed, so it will not come automatically. And even if we some develop raga, but we cannot offend Guru. The whole thing is basically the Guru's involvement will be there because he has brought us from toddler who not learned walking to a person who can jump across big obstacles. So then his strength only is there with us, what we have got. That's why Krishna is empowering, because we are following Guru. That's why he's empowering. But if we do not, then he will also disempower. So therefore, it is important to say here that one has to do it without argument because he does not know why he's doing. He does not know. He does not have taste. So therefore, Guru says, offer obeisances to me. I am saying offer. So then he has to offer. No argument. Just offer. Because that time I cannot argue. I have to learn from Guru. So another part of sadhana bhakti is called raganuga bhakti. Okay. So Prabhupada also gives example here about deity worship. He gives example. What is the deity worship example he gives? That somebody wakes up early in the morning and then he just does arti and decorates deities. So this is because of order of a spiritual master. Why he is waking up? Because of order of a spiritual master. Okay. But when he gets this attachment, he automatically tries to decorate and prepares different kinds of dresses and things of different plants and execute the devotion service nicely. So means basically it's considered like thoda somebody becomes a responsible person. Just now he is planning out how many dresses are there of deities, and then which dress we have to go and get sewed, and when the festival is coming, when which dress Krishna would like. So such kind of planning now Guru is not telling him, but he is doing by himself. So Prabhupada is saying this is like natural, spontaneous. It has become. Again, it's not the full definition of spontaneity because spontaneity has really it has, you can say, natural taste also. It's not simply expertise in doing something. It's a natural taste. Like sometimes it happen like uh, some authority may say, Prabhu, your service is not very good. Other devotees are complaining and you're not listening. Better you leave this seva and go do some other seva. Other devotees ready to take your seva. Then his natural seva for deity goes away. He just leaves the department, becomes angry or whatever. So then where is that natural inclination went away? Or he went to some other place, started serving, but become quite angry. Quite angry. So not to judge this thing, but just making a point here. It's not an expertise actually. It takes some time to become spontaneous. Spontaneous means he's really developed a natural love, and spontaneity again. This spontaneity is not material. He has got some real taste. It's not material thing. Bhakti anyway is not material, but it should not be like thought like expertise. One knows how to make pagadi of the Krishna. One knows like sometimes people may want to make pagadi of Krishna because he's very expert. He will want to make, and he does not allow anyone to make. So can we say that he's a raganuga? No, we cannot say it's expertise, and he has some skills. So that's why I'm making a point here. Raganuga is not that way, but we have to understand what sense Prabhupada is talking about. Nobody is now telling him to get up. He's just getting up and he's just doing the seva without asking. But nobody's asking. Even in any odd, he's doing this seva. So like that, Prabhupada is saying it's a spontaneous kind of thing. Okay, now divided into two parts, namely regulative and spontaneous. So sadhana bhakti is regulative and spontaneous. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada defined the first part of bhakti as a Vaidhi bhakti, where there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service, and one is engaged in service simply out of obedience to the order of his spiritual master. This is called Vaidhi. Uh, yes, I will ask somebody else to read. Mahadev Keshav Prabhu. Yeah, you can read. Hmm.
These
These
principles of Vaidhi Bhakti are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhu.
go ahead.
Hello. These principles of Vaidhi Bhakti are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, first chapter, verse 5, where Sukadeva Goswami instructs the dying Maharaj Parikshit as to his course of action. Maharaj Parikshit met Sukadeva Goswami just a week before his death, and the king was perplexed as to what should be done before he has to pass on. Many other sages also arrived there, but no one could give him the proper direction. Sukadeva Goswami, however, gave these directions to him as follows: My dear king, if you want to be a fearless in meeting your death next week, for actually everyone is afraid at the point of death, then you must immediately begin the process of hearing and chanting and remembering the God. If one can chant the Hare Krishna and always remember Lord Krishna, then he is sure to become a fearless of death,
Yes.
which may come at any moment. In the statements of Sudhya Goswami, it is said that the supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna. Therefore, recommends Sukadev recommends that one should always one should always hear about Krishna. It does not recommend that one hear and chant about the demigods. The Mayavadis impersonalists say that one may chant one may chant any name, either either that of Krishna or those of the demigods, and the result will be the same. But actually, this is not a fact. According to the authorized version of Srimad Bhagavatam, one has to hear and chant about the Lord Vishnu Krishna only. So, Sukadeva Goswami has recommended to Parishit Maharaj that in order to fearless of that, one has to hear and chant and remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. By all means, he also mentions that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sarvatam. Sarvatam means the super soul, Sarvatma. Sarvatma means the super soul of everyone. Krishna is also mentioned as a Ishwara, the supreme controller who has situated in everyone's heart. Therefore, if some ways or other we become Therefore, some way or other we becomes attached to Krishna, he will make us free from all danger. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that everyone who becomes a devotee of Lord is never vanquished. Otherwise, however, are always vanquished. Vanquished means that after getting this human form of life, a person does not come out of the entanglement of birth and death, and thus misses his golden opportunity. Such a person does not know where he is being to thrown by the laws of the nature. Suppose one does not develop the Krishna consciousness in the human form of life, he will be thrown into the cycle of birth and death, involving 84 lakh species of lives, and his spiritual identity will remain lost. but does not know whether he is going to be a planet or a beast or a bird or something like that, because there are so many species of lives. The recommendation of the Rupa Goswami for reviving our original Krishna consciousness is that some or other we should apply our mind to Krishna very seriously and thus also become fearless of death. After that, we do not know our destination because we are completely under the control of laws of nature. Only Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is control over the laws of nature. Therefore, if we take the shelter of Krishna seriously, there will be no fear of being thrown back into the cycle of so many, so many species of life. A sincere devotee will surely be transferred. थोड़ा सा ऊपर. Solely transferred to in the transferred to the abode of Krishna as affirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In the Padma Puran also the same process is advised that there it is said that one should always remember Lord Vishnu. This is called as dhyana or meditation. Always remember Krishna. It is said that one has to meditate with his mind fixed upon Vishnu. Padma Puran recommends that one always fix his mind on the form of Vishnu by meditation, not to forget him at any moment. And this state of consciousness is called samadhi or trance. We should always try to mold the activity of our lives in such a way that we will constantly remember the Vishnu or Krishna, that Krishna consciousness, whether one concentrate his mind on the four-handed form of Vishnu or on the form of two-handed Krishna, it is the same. The Padma Puran recommended somehow or other always think of Vishnu without forgetting him under any circumstances. Actually, this is the most basic of all regulative principles. For when there is order from the superior about doing something, there is simultaneously prohibition. When the order is that one should always remember Krishna, the prohibition is that one should never forget him. Within this simple order and prohibition, all regulative principles are found complete. This regulative principle is applicable to all varnas and ashramas, to caste and occupation of life. There are the four varnas, namely as brahmanas, priest,
Okay.
and
Okay. So here. So principle of Vaidhi Bhakti is to follow out of obedience, out of order of a spiritual master. This is the principle of Vaidhi Bhakti. Again, it's a principle of Vaidhi Bhakti. It's not the goal of Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay. What is the goal of Vaidhi sadhana or okay Vaidhi sadhana bhakti का goal क्या है?
भाव भक्ति
Bhav Bhakti. Yes, Bhav Bhakti is the goal. Okay. So spiritual master is engaging us somehow other, but goal is Bhav Bhakti. Okay. Now the example as we have read earlier also that Parikshit, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishwaro Hari Shrotabhya Kirtitabhyascha Smratabhya Ikshita Abhayam. If you want abhayam from sansara, you want to get rid of the fear of samsara, so better what you should be doing, Shrotabhya Kirtitabhya, you hear about Krishna, you do chanting of Krishna, you remember Krishna. So these things means basically what is the impetus? We want to get free from material world. So better you do this thing. So this is a Shastra is giving some goal and some process. Some goal and some process. It means his chanting and hearing is not because of he wants to attain bhava, but his chanting and hearing is to just to be engaged, just to get rid of this material world. That is the thing. But again, it is not. It's a simply Prabhupada is talking. This is these principles of Vaidhi Bhakti are also described. These are principles of Vaidhi Bhakti, but this is not actually Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti has to go. It has to go to serve Krishna actually, not simply get rid of desires or fear of material world. ठीक है, तो ये क्लियर समझना है, इसमें कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है. तो परीक्षित महाराज को बोलते ये वैदिक भक्ति का एग्जाम्पल दे दिया है कि हाँ कैसे कोई शास्त्र को फॉलो करता है एंड शास्त्र गिव सम वेज how people should remain engaged. Like spiritual master is engaging us. If you do this thing, this will help the institution. If you do this thing, this will help in this way. If you preach so many people, like Prabhupada says, if you distribute so many books, Prabhupada says, if you distribute so many books, it will make me very happy. So then we think, okay, if I distribute books only, then if Prabhupada is this much happy by distributing this many books, if I distribute these many books for 24/7 and for every all time, then Prabhupada will become this much happy. No, you will fall down. You have to read books. You have to read books. You have to do other services also. Understanding. Prabhupada in one statement, recently I got one statement of Prabhupada. If you simply sell books and don't read my books, you will become materialistic. You will become materialistic. Why materialistic? Because you're only concerned about selling. अरे ले लो ना book, ले लो ना, अरे ले लो ना book. और पढ़ने का है ही नहीं. बस आप book बांट रहे हो. You're just selling books. You should understand what is the process. Like I am doing it because of order of Guru. But what is my goal? To attain Bhav Bhakti. Spontaneous loving devotional service I have to get. Ecstatic loving devotion service. Spontaneous loving devotion service मतलब वो तो हो गया आपका रागानुगा. हाँ? और अगर ecstatic with ecstasy we are doing some service, ecstasy, so that is called Bhav Bhakti. In ecstasy you are doing some, like you are always in ecstasy. एक spontaneity होता है, एक ecstasy होता है. हाँ, spontaneity मतलब naturally आप करते हो, और ecstasy मतलब जब आप जप करते हो तो you are in a other world only. That is ecstasy. So that is Bhav Bhakti. To attain that Bhav Bhakti, we are doing Sadhana Bhakti. And the beginning of sadhana is Vaidhi Sadhana. So we are following the scriptures, but our goal is higher. We want to serve Krishna. We want to please spiritual master. Like that. So spiritual master's order we should understand properly. Why spiritual master is saying this thing at this place? Why he is saying this thing? Because he wants to engage us, but he also wants to take us back to Godhead by developing real love for Krishna. As Prabhupada says previously, original Krishna consciousness. What is this? Reviving his original Krishna consciousness. Yeah, this is a very important word. क्या है? Original Krishna consciousness. Duplicate नहीं. So right now we are doing bhakti in practice. So Parishit Madhava said, okay, you chant and hear because you want to get free from fear of samsara. You have a lot of fear that if I die in 7 days, where I will go, what is my destination? You are too much fearful. Now what you should do? Chant holy name. Chant holy name, hear holy name, or worship the Lord, like that. So this is he's doing bhakti because of Shastra's teaching, Shastra's ruling, Shastra's guidance. Not that he has bhakti inside, innate bhakti नहीं है, मतलब spontaneous bhakti नहीं है. Spontaneous bhakti होती तो खुद करते. Parishit is a simply example taken. Parishit is a Mahabhagavad. Don't consider Parishit here, but just Parishit को एक example बनाया गया है साधना भक्त के रूप में. ये साधना भक्ति का प्रिंसिपल को फॉलो कर रहे ऐसा वो हमारे लिए बोला गया है. यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ना subtleties what is I am talking, subtleties क्या चल रहा है इधर. Okay ना, goal of bhakti is, and then how shastra is engaging someone, and if you just follow the shastra because shastra is saying just to get free from material fear, you just engage in bhakti, then that is not called actually Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. That is simply because the goal is still material. You want liberation basically. That's why you're chanting. That even Gyani is also doing that. They're chanting and hearing. Okay. So the goal should not be just to get out of the material world. Goal should be to serve a Lord, to please Lord. But that shloka is not saying that. So that shloka is just quoted to tell you that how sadhana, Vaidhi sadhana is inspired by instruction of Shastra. In some similar way, Vaidhi sadhana is inspired by instruction of a spiritual master. But your goal should be to please Krishna, not to just sell books, or do something here and there. Because okay, I'm engaged. What is the purpose? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was just thinking, please correct me. Like during our Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, we experience little small, maybe fraction of some drop of this spontaneous and then sometimes ecstatic
Hmm.
moments in our Vaidhi sadhana bhakti also? Because sometimes, we hear some lectures, we hear kirtan, very powerful kirtan. So is this a mixture of,
No,
not
that is
mixture, but
correct now. That is correct. Like, see, Bhakti Devi, even before, see, like, even Anarthas are not finished, Bhakti Devi enters in the heart. Okay? Even like Bhakti Devi enters before Bhava, huh? And then Bhakti Devi herself enters, and that time full Anarthas are not gone away. But still Bhakti Devi enters. And just Bhakti Devi means Chitta Sakti and Haladini Sakti. Now, before that also, when you are doing sadhana bhakti, still we are able to do bhakti, but we have anarthas. So bhakti is a transcendental activity. It is not affected by any material problems or material things. Okay, we may get contaminated by material things, and so we may stop doing bhakti. So therefore, spiritual master is required to engage us in bhakti all the time. So they inspire us. Okay. So now whatever we are experiencing, that is actually bhaktya abhas. Means before the sun rises, you feel there's now day is coming. Now sun is about to rise. Okay. So now the sun has not risen actually. The sun is rising now. So therefore the some kind of effects are seen even in that time. So in the sadhana bhakti, while you are practicing bhakti, the two things already coming. What? Klesha, Agni, and Shubhada. Okay. So these things are coming. Means when you become free from misery, you really become happy. Why? Because what is that? Brahma Bhut Prasannatma na sochati na kamshati. Eh? Means when devote, just imagine a soul when he becomes free from I don't want, even this much satisfaction he gets. I am simply happy with Krishna. With this kind of satisfaction he does bhakti and he hears katha, that katha will help him to relish the taste of bhakti. Okay, so but if it is the true bhakti, if it was a true one, then why it does not stay with us? Yes, it does not stay with us. It means what is that? The son of Krishna or the bhakti is giving some glimpse to us. Glimpse. Like Bhakti Maharani is getting pleased with us because we are hearing Katha. And she's giving some glimpse. But she's not giving the right her presence herself, where she determines now that now this devotees will experience the full rasa henceforward because I will enter in his heart. I'm happy with him.
and when this happens, Prabhuji, when does this happen?
Oh, this happens later stage, like again near bhava stage when Bhakti Maharani enters in the heart of a devotee.
And
Then
then there is
uh,
no coming back then. After that,
no coming back. No devotee cannot fall down. Actually, devotee cannot fall down earlier also because he is protected by Shastra. He has lot of faith, Shraddha, because he has heard a lot. Even neophyte devotees also we just now heard na earlier. Neophyte devotees just get little disturbed by somebody's statement, but he again comes and start hearing lecture again he becomes fixed up. But Madhyam Adhikari, who has Drid Shraddha that I Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita hai, this kind of Shraddha if he has, I will only do Krishna. He cannot fall down actually.
hmm,
He cannot fall down. He'll just continue the process. Even though anarthas are there, anartha will not make him deter because he's understood. I will only follow spiritual master, or only follow Shastra, only serve Krishna. Already understood. He has got a Shraddha. See, Shraddha and anarthas are different. Anarthas means what? And Shraddha. Shraddha is a petrol in a vehicle. And anarthas are like a up and down roads. So when you have petrol, you have no fear that you will anytime stop because you have a motor in a vehicle, you can still go up and down also everything because your brake and motor both. But when there is no petrol, then you cannot go. So Shraddha is like a petrol. Even though sometime up and down happens in the life, the devotees continues because he has Shraddha. I will follow my Guru. I will follow Krishna. Even though any problem comes, I will follow. That is Shraddha petrol. Even though Anartha is there, but he determines, no, I will do that. That is Shraddha. That is Drid Shraddha. And Praud Shraddha is more higher. Praud Shraddha means that is Uttama Bhakta. So I'm talking about Drid Shraddha about the Madhyama. And Kanishta is a Komal Shraddha. He get disturbed also sometimes. And then he again comes back and start hearing. And again associating with devotees. He have not read scripture properly. So he has to always consult with the scriptures and hear from devotee. But one who has kept on doing for long time in the association of devotees and rightly conducting his devotional process in the right mood, So surely he comes to the Madhyama stage where he becomes Dridha Shraddha. Shraddhavan, the word we saw, na? Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan. So like that. Okay.
Thank you, Bhakti.
So, yes. Now, this is a, okay, mentioned here. Now, chanting of other demigods, like we go to some dham, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Har Har Bolo Namah Shivaya. कहाँ पे आए प्रभु? अरे सोमनाथ आए हैं ना, सोमनाथ है तो भगवान सोम का होना चाहिए कीर्तन करो, ओम नमः शिवाय। अरे आज क्यों कर रहे प्रभु? आज शिवरात्रि है प्रभु, और भगवान शिव वैष्णव नाम यथा शंभु, पुराना नाम इदम तथा, पुराणों में भागवतम है, वैष्णव में भगवान शंभु है, तो नाम तो लेना ही चाहिए प्रभु। तो प्रभु आपने ये भक्ति रसायन सिंधु का पढ़ा नहीं है क्या प्रभु? क्या पढ़ा है प्रभु? ये वाला aspect. The Mayavadis say that one may chant any name, either that of Krishna or the demigod, the result will be the same. But actually that is not a fact. According to authorized version, one has to hear and chant about Vishnu only. Only Vishnu. Actually, Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava. We accept that. Prabhupada is a Vaishnava. We say Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. But we should understand Lord Shiva is not fully doing the job of Vaishnava actually in this world. He's doing so many other materialistic activities for these people. And so even though we rever Lord Shiva in our heart, and we offer him obeisances with prayers also, but we should understand chanting is only why we are chanting. Then now the question is, why we are chanting? Do we want some gain from him? No. Better chant of Vishnu, because you understand he's a Vishnu only, na. If he's a Vishnu only, then you can say that why chanting Prabhupada. See, if Lord Shiva comes as Sankaracharya, Acharya, then he's preaching certain, and all his followers will chant Sankaracharya ki jai, Sankaracharya ki jai, because his activity is to just preach that message. Okay. Are we chanting some Buddha's name? Buddha Bhagwan ki jai, Buddha Bhagwan ki jai, Buddha Bhagwan ki jai? Because Buddha taught what? Buddha taught Nirvana. He did not accept the soul and did not accept the Vedas. Okay. Both. So we're not chanting. So we are chanting Krishna's name because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is never contaminated. And Acharya's name because they only preached Bhakti. Only preached Bhakti. Prabhupada. He has taken shelter of Vishnupada or Prabhupada. So that portion of Shiva which comes as Sankaracharya and which is preaching Bhakti, we cannot chant the Durvasa Muni name. Now Durvasa Muni, again, Durvasa Muni has been in so many pastimes, but he was not a pure devotee. He was not a pure devotee. He might have become pure devotee, that is separate thing, but he was not a pure devotee. Yes. So even though the Shiva portion we cannot chant. So Shastra clearly mentions all demigods are given some function in this world, because once you go to spiritual world, you'll only find Vishnu, you'll only find Krishna there. And all demigods, they are only appointed in this world to perform some administrative activities, function, and to fulfill the materialistic desire of living entities. So when we chant such holy names, or you can say the such names of devatas, even though we have certain purpose, what is the purpose? Why we are chanting? Because we want to glorify. So I would say better glorify with some prayers which we have heard from Bhagavatam, Prachetas has spoken. You can do that, or some prayers where Goswami has sung for him, that you can do. But still, always be careful that we should only chant the name of Vishnu, because slowly what happens, our faith also gets, because we are not fully understood about Lord Krishna. We are not too much fanatic about Krishna. So therefore, even gopis, when they are going to Katyayani Devi, see what they are asking: can we have Krishna as our husband? Please bless us that we can have Krishna as our husband. When they are going to Vishnu, what they are asking: can you tell us where Krishna has gone away? So Vishnu, he was Krishna only with 4 hands. So gopis are going to Vishnu and saying, can you tell where is Krishna? So they are only chanting about Krishna. So when we talk about devotee of Krishna, it means a devotee of Krishna, no exclusive. For others, we have respect, but we cannot be like chanting. I mean, now we say sometimes other devotees may chant, like some Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may chant, but they have not recommended us to chant. When you go at higher level of prema, you may like Lord does all such pastimes. In Prema, he can keep Lord Shiva also, like in Vithala, you will find like a Lord Shiva on the head of the Lord. Now Rameshwaram, who is worshipping? Lord Ram is worshipping Shiva in Rameshwaram. So the Lord can do these things because he is not worried about the world's objections or world's understanding. He is not going to get affected, Achyuta, and is not going to get affected by the people's opinion also. But we, when we are doing sadhana bhakti, when we are following Shastra scriptures, then you have to be very clear that I have to only chant Krishna's name. Others' names can be chanted by people later. And it will also create a, kind of detour in our preaching. eh, some kind of indirect preaching or sometimes divergent in preaching. So that should not happen actually. Just giving the excuse that Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava, so why can't we, if we are chanting Prabhupada's name, we can also chant Shiva's name. ऐसा मत करो, because that's why Prabhupada said, don't give argument. You have to just follow. So if you start giving argument, then it's therefore it's mentioned. Na Shastra is saying only Vishnu, then follow, because we are doing by the bhakti. When we are doing by the bhakti, we have to follow. Now, Sukadeva Goswami has recommended to Parikshit that in order to be fearless, okay, that is done. Sarvatma means the super soul. Okay, done. Somehow or other we should apply your mind. Now just see, when he says somehow or other to apply your mind, what does it mean? Our mind is already, rascal is going here and there. And then if he gives too many processes, you chant Shiva name, ये भी chanting करो, वो भी chanting करो, तो उसका mind somehow नहीं जाएगा. वो sometimes हो जाएगा. Sometimes he's chanting Krishna's name, but he's maximum time chanting Ganesh, Hanuman, so many other names he's chanting. Therefore, Vishnu name means Vishnu name. Very clear. Therefore, sadhana bhakti direct. Mention means mentioned. You have to do sadhana bhakti, chant holy name of Krishna, 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 Krishna. Like that. The recommendation of the Rup Goswami of our reviving our original. Now, okay. Now, Prabhupada also mentions here, I think, कहीं तो मैं हमने पढ़ा था ना? हाँ. One can, now Krishna includes what? Guru and all his incarnation. We learned ना भक्ति का definition में. अन्य विलासिता शून्यम. कृष्णा अनुशीलनम में कौन कौन इंक्लूड हुआ था? Krishna included, his incarnations like avatars included, that is also called pure devotion service, and also Guru. But that was not including some demigod. गुना अवतार बिल्कुल नहीं, वहां पे मना किया है. ब्रह्मा शिवा मना किया है. तो जब मना किया है मतलब मना किया है. प्योर डिवोशन उससे नहीं होता है. ओके. After that, yes, after death we do not know our destination because we are completely under control of laws of nature. Only Krishna is a controller over the laws of nature. Therefore we can take shelter of Krishna seriously. There will be no fear of being thrown back into the cycle of. So Prabhupada is saying why somehow or other if you take seriously, then you will be saved from death. Somehow or other mind should be. Okay, we should always try to mold the activities of our life in such a way that we will constantly remember Krishna and never forget him. So Prabhupada says, Padma Purana recommends somehow or other think of Vishnu without forgetting him under any circumstances. So this is also one instruction of Shastra. So this is instruction of Shastra. This is okay, na? This is the impetus for us to follow. Somebody say, why you're chanting all the time? Are Padma Puran says because I'm doing Vaidhi Bhakti. I don't have taste for Krishna. So somehow I have to be engaged in Krishna service. So let me chant holy name. Let me do some kitchen work. Let me do some reading work. Why you're doing all these things? Because I have to be engaged in Bhakti. Otherwise, how will I develop original Krishna consciousness? कैसे होगा मेरे पास? पहले एक टेस्ट भी तो आना चाहिए उसके लिए. तो हर बार करता रहूंगा तो भगवान की इच्छा से, गुरु की प्रसन्नता से, मर्सी से, कृपा से वो आएगा टेस्ट. और फिर टेस्ट से जब करने लगूंगा तो फिर भाव तक पहुंच जाऊंगा. मतलब साधना पहले वैदी, फिर उसके बाद राग आनूंगा, फिर उसके बाद भाव में आ जाऊंगा, भाव के बाद प्रेम हो जाएगा. तो पहले तो जस्ट बलोत्पादित, मतलब बल के साथ, बलोत्पादित नहीं बोलेंगे, बट with the force of scriptures, with force of spiritual master, somehow do it all the time. Engage yourself. That is important. ना somebody may think, but प्रभु जी वो भाव भक्ति वाला, अच्छा वो बात है कि आगे हम लोग वो भाव को प्राप्त करने के लिए कर रहे, वो मेरे को डिजायर आता नहीं है बार बार, तो फिर भी ठीक है, नहीं आता है तो अभी मेन फोकस है कि why we are too much oriented on saying that I am a perfect sadhana by the sadhana bhakta. First is engage ourselves. First process is to engage. पहले engage रखो अपने को. अभी कोई अच्छा कॉन्शियसनेस में एंगेज कर रहा है और बाकी समय पे एंगेज ही नहीं कर रहा है वो, और ऐसे लाइक सम पीपल कम एंड सर्व गुरु, एकदम प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस सेवा करते हैं कि हमें केवल शुद्ध भक्ति चाहिए, हम केवल गुरु की सेवा करेंगे, और बस उसके बाद गायब. दे डोंट कम टू टेम्पल, दे डोंट कम फॉर मंगल आरती, दे डोंट डू अदर सेवा, फिनिश. Only one time some seva in the right consciousness with some good attitude, but what about other times? So therefore sadhana bhakti here, vaidhi bhakti is mentioned here. The main principle abhi ठीक है, गोल भी है साधना भक्ति का भाव भक्ति, बट एट द सेम टाइम इफ यू आर नॉट एंगेज्ड ऑनली, सततम हो नहीं रहा है बाकी सब सेवाओं के लिए, तो वो सब भाव भक्ति के लिए कैसे जाओगे? आप केवल इमिटेट करना चाहते हो भाव भक्ति. आई हैव लव फॉर कृष्णा, I want to attain him, but I will only come to serve Guru. No, nobody else. I will not serve. I will not come to temple. I will not chant holy name. Simply come and put garland to Guru with a nice faith, with nice sentiment. Then he's not satatam. He's not remembering Vishnu all the time because he's not following only process. तो जब ये रेगुलेटिव प्रिंसिपल्स को हम नहीं फॉलो करेंगे तो साधना भक्ति के परफेक्शन तक भी हम नहीं पहुंचेंगे. ये क्लियर है? ओके ना? यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, आई थिंक. For when there is an order from a superior about doing something, there is simultaneously a prohibition. When order is there, one should always remember, and prohibition one should never forget. Just see these statements as we learnt also. So strict, one should never forget. It means what? Don't forget. Always remember. Don't forget. Okay. So yes. So there are four words, and Prabhupada said these are functional for all the four varnas. Now, four varnas may say that, oh, I am busy, I am a Sudra, so how can I do remembrance of Krishna? Arey, no, 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 no. Bhakti is not affected by your varna or ashrama. No. Bhakti means somehow other. Now, somebody is, I'm giving example, some brahmachari. Brahmachari, he has time, he does not go for job. So he can be engaged in reading scriptures, he can be engaged in preaching, eh, and distributing prasadam, holy name, books, whatever. If somebody is grahastha, he has to go for earning money. Okay, he has to go for purchasing sabji. Now in all these situations he can think of how he can engage in service of Krishna. Now if he keeps a deity at home, so therefore he is purchasing to bring sabji for Krishna. If he's doing job, he is maintaining the family, and the family is also listening holy name, family is also chanting, family is also hearing Bhagavatam. So that means what? He is doing to assist his bhakti. He's doing some activity to assist his bhakti. It's not simply a karma. It has not become a karma. Again, it's not a Shuddha bhakti. We know that. We have discussed earlier. But at the same time, why we are too much bent upon calling? पहले सततम होना चाहिए. पहले भक्ति को रेगुलर बनाओ कि हम हर एक समय कुछ भी करें तो वो शास्त्र के अकॉर्डिंग होना चाहिए. पहले वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. जंप मत मारो कि हम शुद्ध भक्त है क्या, वो बताओ पहले. हमने इतना सेवा किया, शुद्ध भक्त है कि नहीं, पहले बोलो. पहले मेरे को सर्टिफिकेट दो. अरे ऐसा नहीं करना है हमें. Even Suddha Bhakta does not say that, they do not claim also that I am a Suddha Bhakta. They say I am a neophyte only. So the whole thing is first to somehow or other engage. Somehow or other we have to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, to remember Krishna, to do for Krishna devotees, to assist ourselves in bhakti activities we have to do. So surround ourselves with devotional activities, devotional mood activities like that. Okay. So these are also applicable for students, like brahmacharis, for householders, for retired life, and for renounced life. Therefore, Virupa Goswami Pad mentions this, all the four varnas. Varna, ashrama, adi also he mentions. Adi means what? Even those who are out of varna ashram, they can also do these activities. So the principle of remembering Supreme Personality of God is constantly and not forgetting Him at any moment is meant to be followed by everyone without fail. So this is the principle Shastra is giving. Principle is this. Okay. ठीक है, ये इतना पढ़ लिया ना? ओके, एनी क्वेश्चन? So we'll end today here. Srila Prabhupada की जय.
Can you say the sloka?
भक्ति संस्कृत. हाँ, क्वेश्चन है क्या? नहीं, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, क्या बोल रहे हैं?
Sloka 3.
Okay. भक्ति स्वामी सिंधु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय, विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय, जीव गोस्वामी पाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. गौर भक्तविंद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.